This is Infinite Transcendence.
Hello again and welcome to Infinite Transcendence. Today, I'm going to talk about fighting joint pain and inflammation. You notice also that I have no shades on or none of the hat and everything. I was trying something more different, more genuine, more normal. But anyways, I'm going to delve into this topic. So how did this topic come up? Well, I talked about joint pain and inflammation and taking care of your body for quite a long time. And what happened was I have a customer who has a lot of joint pain issues, it's nausea, headaches, a lot of things have been bothering. She's been feeling really sick. And a lot of that felt like a lot of the issues I used to have to deal with a few years back, if you recall correctly. I remember mentioning before, I had a lot of pain, walking hurt, running especially hurt. I couldn't jump, I couldn't kneel down. And I was like, I'm in my 20s. What's wrong with me? Why am I hurting? And why is it so hard for me to go out and do the things that I used to be able to do no problem? And then when you can't do those things anymore, it makes you feel a lot worse. So I end up looking for something to find a solution. And eventually I did find that solution. And as I said before, the solution was basically diet and lifestyle. And the customer in particular, now she eats well, has a good diet. It's not like she has a junky, messy eater or anything. She has a good balanced diet, looks great, takes care of herself. But it was in regards to certain foods that can trigger certain reactions to people. And I had a lot of same issues too, because I wasn't a junky eater, but certain foods caused me a lot of problems. And I want to get into those foods now. And one of the main reasons of joint pain and a lot of body inflammation is the four danger foods. What do you call them? The four foods, the four F's. And the four foods are sugar, dairy, wheat, and corn. These foods are known for triggering a lot of allergic reactions. They're common in pretty much every processed food. So one of the main things is to make your own food more and eat processed food less. Eat more whole foods. Now, most people think this sucks and they don't like having to make their own food, but it's worth it in the long run, because if you're having a lot of joint pain and stomach pain and headaches and things like that, you're losing so much out of your life that it's better just to make your own food from scratch. And there's ways to do it without sacrificing a lot of your time and effort. Now, why are these foods a problem? Well, sugar raises your blood sugar level. When your insulin spikes, you start having a lot of problems like skin breakouts, inflammation, joint pain. It weakens your immune system. It makes it harder for you to focus. You get foggy-headed, you can get headaches. There's tons of things wrong with sugar, and I can go on into sugar all day, but basically you eat a lot of sugar, a lot of the refined sugars in particular, it spikes your blood sugar, which can cause a lot of issues with joint pain and inflammation. You'll notice your joints probably feel stiffer. So if you want to combat your joint pain and inflammation, one thing to do is start cutting out the sugar. Find sugar-free substitutes. Just stop eating a lot of junky foods. You can do fruits and vegetables, but a lot of times certain fruits can give people headaches too. Like citrus fruits, but just keep that in mind. In regards to dairy is also tough on people. Humans in general, animals drink a lot of milk when they're younger, which is, as an infant, you're supposed to, it makes you healthy and strong. But humans are like one of the only few animals that keep drinking milk and consuming dairy products like that well into adulthood. And the dairy is hard to break down in our bodies. A lot of people are lactose intolerant. Lactose is a sugar, and it makes it, your body has a hard time dealing with it, and it can deal with a lot of it can cause a lot of other problems. And not only that, but the milk we drink has a lot of hormones in it. If you go get like the store-bought milk, you have a lot of hormones, you have a lot of other things added into it that make it difficult for the body to deal with. It can cause you a lot of problems, like a lot of joint pain, a lot of stiffness in the body, a lot of breakouts because of things like that. And then you have corn. Corn also can spike your blood sugar. A lot of corn, a lot of starchy foods act like sugar, and they can spike your blood sugar as well. And also, corn and also wheat. Wheat is also another one. The gluten type foods, the wheat in particular, is also rough on the body, and it can also spike your blood sugar and cause a lot of issues with breakouts and joint pain. And now once I remove those four things out of my diet, I start feeling a lot better, and I could start moving. It didn't happen overnight, but it took about a couple of months, maybe 8 weeks or a little bit more. It happened gradually, but I started to feel better and better. Now, another thing people don't realize is the histamine. Histamine is in a lot of stored foods, a lot of canned foods, a lot of deli meat, a lot of things like beer, sauerkraut. A lot of probiotics have histamine in them too, because they're usually stored and they sit for a while and they start to get fermented. And those foods have a lot of histamine in them as well. So what they can do is trigger a reaction. And what a lot of times happens is you think you're getting a cold. You have runny nose, stuffed nose, watery eyes. Like I had it in the middle of the summer eating the Halo Top ice cream, like I mentioned before. And I had it last year eating walnuts. and it just made me feel terrible. I thought I had a cold, but it was reality. It was the histamine in the foods that was making me feel really bad. So once I took those things out, it made me feel a lot better, and it made me feel a lot better, less pain, less headaches, less agony. And I know my customers mentioned she had a lot of headaches. She just felt really bad, like she was sick. And a lot of times that can be from foods that have a lot of histamine. So another thing you can do is watch your histamine type of foods. And another thing that causes inflammation is watching your omega-3 content. People don't, and our diets in the U.S. are full of omega-6, which is more inflammatory. Omega-3 fights inflammation. Foods you get for inflammation, the foods you get to fight inflammation are generally be more fish type foods that have a lot of omega-3, because most foods have way more omega-6 than omega-3. You can have more omega-6, but just not too much. And a lot of diets have a lot of junky foods and just a lot of foods that don't give you enough omega-3. So if you don't eat a lot of fish, I recommend salmon, high in fat, high in protein, great for muscle building, and it's healthy and it makes you look good. But if you don't want to eat fish, I recommend the fish. But if you don't, try the supplements. Get the omega-3, get the fish oil, get the, I mentioned the fish oil supplements, get the fish oil, get the, they have the bottle. I recommend the bottle the most because it has the highest quality. It's like $40, but you take a spoonful or so a day and it'll last you months and months. So I recommend that for the omega-3. Also, make sure you're getting your vitamins and your minerals. That never hurts. Your vitamin B, I know vitamin D3 in particular, B complex helps, B12. Also get your A and your C and your E as well. But definitely I know vitamin D and vitamin B are some big ones. Also with her in particular, and especially for women, I want to mention this. She sounded like she was, in this case, was iron deficient because a lot of the symptoms, pain, nausea, yellowed eyes and skin, things like that. That's a sign of iron deficiency often. Not always, but it's often a very common sign. And women are more likely to be iron deficient because they menstruate. So when you're bleeding, you're going to lose a lot of iron. So make sure you're replenishing your iron. Get some chelated, which makes it easier to digest, chelated iron supplements. I'm going to put up links for all of that as well. So, and that was one particular case with her where I sounded like a lot of iron deficiency. In fact, I think that's one of her main problems is the iron deficiency. So if she's watching this, and I sent her a message about it, so just make sure your iron levels are intact and you're getting good vitamins and minerals in your omega-3. And in regards to headaches, that's usually a combination of three things: that vitamin deficiency, histamine problems, or problems with diet and just foods in general. So that's to wrap it up. I want to keep it simple, relatively short if I can. So that is pretty much it in regards to this topic and fighting those things. So let me know what you think about this. Did I miss anything? I try to keep it simple. Do you have any issues with joint pain, inflammation, aching bodies, anything like that? As always, ask, let me know. I try my best to answer and respond. And always like and subscribe and transcend infinitely.
Keep watching and listening. See you next time and transcend infinitely.